All right, guys. So on the show today, we are so excited to be interviewing Sholdon Daniels. He's going to be coming on the show in a couple minutes, and we're going to be speaking with him on so many different topics. He is running in TX30 against who, babe?
Jasmine Crocket, the infamous.
Yeah, he wanted to do that to show.
That's my bit.
Yes, I had to wait for that.
You almost talked over my bit.
I did. I know. I'm sorry. I know you're looking forward to that. And we're just elated that he's joining us. We're going to speak with him about a whole bunch of different topics. Mm-hmm. But obviously here on Saints in the City, we're going to really dive into his faith and what led him to want to run for office in such chaotic, polarizing, and somewhat dangerous times to run for political office. But we're excited. We hope you like.
Hope you like.
We hope
it is dangerous, actually. It's a very polarized time in America.
And I truly believe that a sense of faith in God needs to be a part of your life, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel that way. And those who are led by God first have that behind them in their corner.
100%. So. Excited to get into this.
Yes. So welcome to Saints, you guys. Sholdon Daniels is coming up.
My man.
What are you doing? Are you doing a workout right now? All right, Sholdon, we are so grateful to have you on Saints in the City. You know, we've been following you, not in a stalkerish way, but we've just been following you in this whole election. Way. I'm like, what is happening? And who is this girl that he's running against? First and foremost, you're an attorney. You're a veteran.
Yeah.
You're a family guy. You're from Sherman, Texas. You're a native Texan.
Yeah.
My question to you, I'm just going to start off. What made you want to just throw your hat into this chaotic political scene that we're seeing now that's transpired over the last 6 years?
I just see this as one of those moments in American history where people like myself, we're being called to step up, not only to go serve in the military or, as a first responder, but we need normal, regular, blue collar, hardworking people in politics and on Capitol Hill, especially. I think that we have suffered from decades and decades of people from the political class, essentially being the only people qualified to go hold offices like that. And I think that's probably 90% of the problem that we find ourselves in today. And so when you talk about making America great again and you talk about America First policies, I don't think you're really going to get the most pure intentions unless you're getting people that actually know what it's like to have to work hard to put food on their table, wake up early and take their kids to school. I just think that's what we need right now. And so with me having the know-how and a little bit of experience, my degree is in political science from the University of Texas at Dallas.
Okay.
I just saw it as, one of the people from TX30 who's probably the most qualified to run for this right now is Sholdon Daniels.
Yes.
And I would be remiss if I didn't throw my name in the hat. So
that's amazing. God bless you.
And have you always been, because a lot of people have a turn, like I voted for Obama in 2008, regretfully.
Me too.
Right.
Did you? Okay.
So what changed for you? Like, at what point did you say, like, all right, this is, I'm not getting what these people are putting down, and I would like to see something different?
Yeah.
The simplest way I can put it is, first and foremost, I didn't really choose to be a Democrat. It was just kind of thrust upon me. I inherited, my place in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
But even within my own family and my community, we noticed things, issues, problems, shortcomings, lies, betrayals within the Democrat Party. But for whatever reason, we don't move. We just keep going down that same path. It wasn't until I started to realize really how manipulated we're being by the media.
Yes.
I think I might have saw a video a few years back where I could see news networks from all over the nation were literally parroting the same script.
Is that creepy?
And it turned out to be a BS script.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, so Operation Mockingbird actually never stopped.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I went from kind of a cursory feeling of this isn't right to let me start digging.
Yeah.
Let me start reading. Let me go read the actual platforms of the parties and see who's actually standing true to their platform, their policy platform.
Yeah.
Let's get away from the culture war. Let's get away from the media narratives and let's just look at the policies. Who's voting on what?
Yeah.
And how it's affecting the people. And the more research I did, Also more research into American history and the abolitionist movement. I wanted to see, why are we Democrats and what is this whole civil rights switch thing?
Yeah.
The more I researched that, I realized that it's all just a farce. It's not true. It's all a lie.
Yeah.
So I immediately was, I was proud to be a Republican. Once I learned that my ancestors had a hand in helping to form the Republican Party.
Yes, 100%.
Like that was me.
Wow.
And what do you feel like the Democrats stand for today? Because what I've noticed, I really started paying attention in high school, and I grew up in South Seattle and then moved to East Harlem, and I just kind of saw this. They moved away from their constituents. Yeah. They no longer represented the working class people anymore. And now what I see, and I don't know if you see this, it's the elites that are part of the Democratic Party, where I'm like, you don't even live in my neighborhood. What are you doing? Why are you protesting? Right. You wouldn't even, I couldn't pay you $10 to come and talk to the people in my neighborhood. Do you notice that as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone does. And so that's part of the reason why we're able to have so much steam in my campaign, because I'm really in the community. And it's not just because I'm running for office. I've spent my entire life in service to my community in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And so people know that that's really who I am, and that's what I'm really about. And that's why a lot of the really influential people here in TX30 that have been longtime Democrats, when I said I'm running for office, they kind of opened doors for me. And that's how I'm moving throughout the district, is really a lot of the older deacon type guys that are like, hey, I want you to meet this kid. He's a Republican, but he's really for us. Hear him out. And this is how we're breaking that wall down. But to answer your question specifically, I think the Democrat Party today, they are lost. But I think they stand for hate. That's really all it is. They don't have any ideas or solutions. They're anti-man, they're anti-woman, they're anti-hard worker, they're anti-America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're anti-whatever our president does. They're anti-white people at this point. I hate to say it, but anything white people do, and that's weird coming from me. I'm from like the real black community, so don't think that this is like my thing, but I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Right now, it feels like,
I see it.
Being white is almost like a crime.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong, because if they can do it to you, then they can do it to us. They can do it to anyone else. And so
100%.
That's why I'm America first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
So how do we change these people? So the Texas slogan is like, don't mess with Texas. That's what everyone knows Texas as, right? So why are these people trying to mess with Texas? Like, why are they putting so much energy into what is the strategy? This whole redistricting. Go ahead.
Because they know. There's a book that came out by the great Colonel Allen B. West. It's called Hold Texas, Hold the Nation. Read that book.
Okay.
And it explains in great detail why Texas is such a linchpin in the American economy and culture as well. And so we were once an independent country ourselves, so we still have that pride. That's why we're still able to fly our state flag at the same height as the American flag.
Okay.
It's a respect thing, and we're very prideful about being Texans. The reason they're messing with Texas is because we kind of lead the charge. Look at it this way: in education, right? The big publishers who make the textbooks, they go to Texas first, and then whatever we decide we want to be in the textbook, they take that and then they go sell that book to everyone else across the country. We decide what the textbooks are going to say, and it's kind of always been that way. Conservative policies attract big business. Business come here, you can work here, and we don't have a state income tax. So it's like conservative policies like that attract the best and the brightest and the smartest and the wisest, right? Except for Arizona as well. And right, obviously.
Appreciate you.
And so people want to attack that. They want to attack that Texas pride.
Yeah.
When you look at the war between these transnational globalists, which is really how I see this whole deal. I feel like the Democrat Party they've been infiltrated by globalists.
By communism. Yeah.
It's crony, exactly.
Yeah,
and so when you have these people who want to erode what it means to be an American because they want to usher in this one world government deal, then you have to take out Texas.
Yeah.
Because, the cowboy hat and the flag and the cold beer and the pickup truck and the pretty girl and the rifle on your shoulder, that is Texas.
Yeah.
That's Texas. And that's also a lot of what it means to be an American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So if we can make it to where you're confused about what it means to be a man, we're one step closer to one world government. If we can confuse or blur the lines between what it means to be a true patriot and, essentially a terrorist or a domestic terrorist, we're one step closer. And so if we can take Texas out, then we take a huge leap towards, basically destroying America.
Amen.
Wow.
Yeah. I always say, if you ever hear the words "for the greater good," run away. Everybody needs to read Atlas Shrugged, I say, because I read that book and I said that is so prominent for today. And I think every high school should have that from freshman year to senior year. It's a long book. It's heavy, but it is so, Ayn Rand is just amazing. But I just want to flip it to your faith, because we are a faith-filled show, and I know we don't have you for that much longer. So I don't want to keep you, but to implement God, how important is your faith in God in all of this? Like,
I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have faith in God. So I'm one of those people where I'm an Aries and I'm a busybody. And I'm an attorney. I always have things on my plate. And I got to the point where, I'm helping a lot of people. I take an appraisal of my firm after I've been practicing 10 years. And I say, man, I've served a lot of people. I've helped a lot of people. But I know that God has more for me.
Yes.
And it's like, God, just tell me what you want me to do. Like, I know you've prepared me for another level. And then I'm drawn to Jasmine and I see the vacuum, right? It's really a vacuum of representation. We don't have representation. We have a representative, but she doesn't represent us. I say, God, point me in the right direction.
Yes.
Whoever was running against her, put me in their campaign so I can help them win next time.
Yes.
And then I find that we didn't even have a candidate at all to challenge her. And so,
because it's just assumed. It's just like, I'm going to win.
It's just assumed. Yeah. Exactly. And I've always recognized that we don't have Republicans in TX30. But I never really understood why. I never really kind of peeled back the layers and was like, why aren't we running people? And then I find out that there's ever since TX30 was created, the local GOP had never put any effort or resources into TX30. It was just kind of like, here, take this, you can have it. But now the demographics have changed a lot. It's not just working class or poor welfare Black people now. We have nice neighborhoods in TX30 now. We have $1 million homes in TX30 now. And so we need a different type of representation, somebody that's not necessarily crying about slavery, somebody that is going to get us back to godliness, right? I know that America is a secular nation, but I think in terms of morals and like what informs your decision making, if you don't believe in a God, if you don't believe that you're going to be held accountable for how you behave during this lifetime, and I feel like you can be evil and you won't even care. And so that's kind of what we deal with Jasmine and a lot of the people on Capitol Hill.
It's wild.
That's why I take my faith with me everywhere I go, because I look at it this way. If God be for me, who can be against me?
Amen.
I see you put on your site that you go, real Texans, they go to church every Sunday. And it's like, I think to myself, that's awesome. And I always ask this question, like, how does God speak to you? Like, what makes you so sure? Like, that's what they ask you, right? People that aren't Christian. Like, what makes you so damn sure?
This might sound weird, but I'm one of those people where, I pray to God and I talk to God like in my car, like he's sitting, like God is next to me in the room. And so, but sometimes, here's a perfect example. So this summer I was taking vacation, like the last few weeks I've been taking the vacations with the kids and just spending a lot of time with my kids and kind of putting my firm on the back burner for my family. Well, I have 3 kids and a wife and I got bills, right? I'm still working class man. And so my wife, she comes to me last week and she's like, hey, we spent a lot of money. You're going to have to get on it. And she says a little prayer. She says, God, we're in the car. She says, God, next week is going to be retainer week. Let's get back on it. And then this week, sure enough, every single day, new retainers every single day. And that's how God works for us. We don't ask for much. But when we ask, he delivers. And it's always right on time. And for my wife and I met when we were maybe 3 or 4 years old in church. And so when I first saw her, I've always been enthralled by her. And I knew at a very early age that I wanted her to be my wife. And look what he did. He took us apart for many years, but then he brought us back together at the perfect time. So he's never forsaken me, ever. He's the reason why I was able to make it out of such a tumultuous and turbulent and really a dangerous environment. My mother told me, because my grandmother passed a couple days ago.
I'm so sorry.
And my mom told me, she was old. She lived a full life, but I appreciate it. My mother says, she goes, Granny Carol, she's the one who taught me everything when I first moved out, because she had me when she was a teenager. And she had government housing, and it's the 80s. It's the height of the crack thing. And so she was like, there was a lot of people on the streets that would want to come in your house and party and then never leave. And so it was your grandmother who kind of gave me the courage to step up and tell people, like, you have to leave. I have a son, get out. And it's just like God was there for my mom before I could even speak my first word. And He protected me in an environment where kids were overdosing, right? Kids were being neglected and getting sent off to live with other people. But He kept me with my mom. He kept my sister and I together.
Wow.
And I'm an attorney now.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I've made mistakes myself. And so
we need a movie about you next to J.D. Vance. You're the next Hollywood movie coming to a theater. I can see it now.
All glory to God, man.
Glory to God. How did you get in? So Will Cain's dad was part of your life and a mentor to you and you becoming an attorney? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, he was. Man, it helped tremendously. Here's the deal. Growing up in Sherman, Texas, we are one of those towns. You've heard of Tulsa and the race riot that went down in Tulsa, how they bombed the city. But that's not the point. The point that I'm making is there was a bustling Black community there. Okay. Economically, they were good. You had millionaires. Sherman is one of those towns as well. And so back in the 1930s, we had a similar incident. A man was accused of doing something, and that led to them burning down everything. Okay. The first and only Black or African-American Black attorney, his name was William J. Durham. He was in Sherman, and he was the first one. He and Thurgood Marshall were like this. Oh, wow. People don't know this, but Thurgood Marshall used to come to Sherman and practice. This is where he would do a lot of his research. His buddies lived there. William lived there. When they ran William out, we never had another African-American or Black attorney until I came to town.
What?
In 2014. And so it was a lot of weight on my shoulders. It was a lot of pride, a lot of attention. My firm immediately took off, obviously, being the only Black attorney in the whole county.
Yeah.
But I just, the courage and the know-how came from not seeing anybody that looked like me being a professional. Everybody I saw, they worked at the local factory, or they were drug dealers, or they were unemployed, or they were trying to be a rapper or an athlete. But it was him. When I would go to his house with his son, because his son and I were classmates. This story's getting long. But he had the most beautiful house. Yeah. Like the second floor of his house was like suspended from cables, and you could go look over the side, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm like, how did you afford this? What did you do? Because he didn't come from money.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got my law degree, and I got lucky. I got a really good client. And so he would just kind of tell me, this is what you need to do. Just make sure that you focus on your academics, stay on that. This is what you're going to have to do to prepare yourself for law school. This is what law school is like. Mm-hmm. These are the exams that you have to take. These little tidbits of information, you would be surprised. Like when you're Black and you grow up in the hood, you don't have anybody telling you even these little small things.
Yeah.
Right. You have people telling you, go show up at the SSI building at 6 a.m. and this is how you get your benefits. But you don't have people saying this is how you prepare for an SAT.
Okay.
Right.
This is how you prepare for an LSAT or law school. And so him doing that, it was such an anomaly.
Yes.
He was like a monolith in my life that I was just drawn to him because I wanted to have that success and that respect. And so anything he told me, I would just latch on to and I would run with and go research. And he put the seed in me. And I had a teacher, Jan Stewart. She was a business law teacher the first year they offered the class. And I did so well. She said, Sholdon, you should look into becoming an attorney. Like you're good at this, And so that was more encouragement. And then my mother and my stepfather, they encouraged me to read. And my stepfather, he's been telling me my whole life, man, you're going to be the first Black president one day. And I'm just like, no.
Why not?
But so it started with him. Yeah. But it was watered by other people. I'm sorry.
No,
man, that's interesting.
Well, I just want to, I won't keep you any longer. We won't keep you any longer. But just lastly, like we know Jasmine Crocket is your opponent and she's very vocal. She's very loud. She likes the headlines. We feel like social media is kind of a lot of these politicians. It's a reality show for them a lot of the time. Right. Unfortunately. So coming in here, what are your plans to beat her? Like, what are you doing to say enough of this, we're tired of it? Lastly, what are your plans to do that?
I'm working the plan. I'm just showing up for the people.
Yeah.
I've always been there, but now I introduce myself as the candidate for Congress as opposed to just Attorney Sholdon Daniels. I'm here to help.
Okay.
And so me being a young Black Republican who's from this area, and I already had kind of a reputation for being kind of a guy that just gets things done for people. Mm-hmm. It's like a lightning bolt in the city, and everybody can see lightning. Some people are afraid, but it's intriguing.
Yeah.
And so most people, even if they are staunchly against us and our party and what we stand for, they still give me an opportunity to talk to them just out of curiosity.
That's amazing.
Right. And so she sends these emails calling me a MAGA extremist and a racist and all this and a sellout.
That's crazy.
People want to know if that's true. Yeah. And so when I move around with my team, my campaign manager is a Hispanic woman. My driver is an African-American gentleman who is from the community. Right. Okay. And when they see how I move, they're like, wait, well, he's moving with people from the community.
You're authentic.
And so we just went to an event this past weekend, and that's really what opened the door. They were like, we didn't expect you to walk in here with black and brown and white people, like a coalition of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We thought you were going to come in with a bunch of rich, white, elite people kind of puppeting you around. But they're like, you're really for us.
Yeah.
You know, you show up for us, you donate to our causes, you come and spend your time, you sweat in the sun with us.
Yeah.
And it's a year out from the election. We've never seen Jasmine do this.
Yeah.
That alone, just showing up. Right. And then Jasmine's doing a lot of the work for me on the other side.
So, she writes her own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So her biggest supporters, we had a Democrat precinct chair come to our HQ last week and offer essentially to start getting involved with our campaign because they didn't push me out. They're pushing everyone out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think they're just disintegrating before our very eyes.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
Well, Sholdon, it was a pleasure having you. I know you got probably a million things to do. I don't know how you're even awake right now, but it was such an honor speaking with you.
Yeah, great pleasure speaking with you, man. And you are a role model that I think a lot of kids should be looking up to, man.
Yeah, for sure. God bless. We'll be praying for you, and we can't wait to see what happens.
Man, good luck, man.
Thank you so much. God bless you as well. Thank y'all for having me on the show.
God bless you. Have a great day. Are you doing the whole Anchorman where we're going to be like, and good night, San Francisco.
And good night.
And good evening. And we're done. Thank you so much for joining us.
I would like to be the midnight crew.
That's Bridesmaids too. You know, Bridesmaids is the whole like, and I just want to say how much I love you and you are my favorite. You're my best friend forever.
Oh yeah, and the girl's like, okay, again. Like, no. I'd like to say, that you are a beautiful woman and I can't wait to be your maid of honor. And the other girl like,
yeah, and remember that time in band camp when we went to, Yeah,
that was a pretty good scene. That's a funny movie.
I don't think we just did it justice, and I don't hear anybody laughing at it. So
there's no one in here.
All right, guys, thanks.
See you later.